Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday, June 25th. Yeah, we'll go with that unless I have to correct it. So, thanks for all the comments and stuff. And Amos, I don't know if you saw it, but I've been on blood thinners for years because of peripheral artery disease in my legs. It runs in the family. And the after effects are bruising, and then you get scars instead of just healing up like a normal human does. But I appreciate your concern, and we're okay here. And Jason, I'm going to take you up on that vitamin C thing. I'm going to check that out today. So, what's today's video? Today's video is Shop Etiquette 101. This ought to be good. Alrighty, welcome back. My name is Eric, and this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. It's available on podcast as well. Today is Tuesday. It is the 25th of June. And today we're going to talk about shop etiquette. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If not, who gives a hoot, right? So, the stuff that you really need to know is discrimination in the workplace. And you have to be aware of these things. You have to be aware of your surroundings. I mean, what you used to be able to do and get away with and have fun now can be mistook, used against you, and even worse, get you fired without even knowing it. And I can give examples. You know how I love giving examples, right? All right, so a friend of mine, he is a supervisor at a big plant. And he started dating one of his fellow employees. And they pulled him in the office. And they basically told him, you don't eat where you shit. Or you don't shit where you eat. Meaning, this could come to bite you in the ass. And he was kind of taken back. And they were trying to forewarn him of what was there to come, right? The problem was his girlfriend was not doing par work, doing subpar work. And the supervisor over her left, so that left him supervising over both groups. And he started to see this subpar work that she was putting out. So he got on her ass a little bit. Thinking, she's my girlfriend, but you still got to put out what you need to at work. And she started going, the relationship was on, off, right? And it was more on than it was off, but the final finale was, hear this, that she went to HR and complained that he was being mean to her, hateful to her, and derogatory words said to her. And it was discrimination. And when he got back home, because he lived at his own place and she had her place with her mother and the kids, she called him and left a message on his phone that he would get when he got home, saying, we're done. Now, they were getting ready to fire her terminate her until he took over both shifts. He didn't know this. But now they can't because she just filed a complaint against him. And even if it never took place, if none of this took place, if someone files a claim against you, it's, you really have to think twice about it. See, we as employers, if we're the employer, have to sit down, and a lot of times you can go online and get the 5 or 10 minute long thing for your employees to watch on discrimination, the different types of discrimination, and what's allowed and what's not. And just because you think that it's okay doesn't mean that the person that you're saying something to does. And see, like in our shop, with Claude and I make him watch the video so that he's not being disrespectful and derogatory towards me, and I have to go to HR, and you know how that goes. But it is serious, folks. Everything from, how we say things to the opposite sex, same sex, how we treat each other at the workforce, I know. It makes it more complicated. And it gives, to me anyways, it just gives the employee, the bad employee, more ways to screw the good employees. It can. All right, so on to the next. The next is your political views, okay? I am all about you having your own views on whatever you think. I think that your views are your views, okay? But bringing them to the workplace is no. You can't bring a Biden sucks sign and hang it above your toolbox. Or I hate Hogel in the dining hall. We don't have one. We don't take lunch. That's how mean of an employer I am. But why is that? Why is it that we don't talk politics at the workplace? And that is, for one, the most important to me is you alienate up to half of your customers. Why would you do that? You can go home and think whatever you want. But if you're a business owner, I'm going to hear some of the business owners say, well, I got to stand on my, what I feel is right. That's fine. But not at work. And why do I say that? I say that because we had a customer yesterday. He used to work for Tractor Supply. And him and his wife stopped to pick up something we had worked on for him. And he said, "Had you heard the latest about Tractor Supply?" And I said, "What's that?" And he said that they're going woke. They're now getting behind all the LGBTQWR, and all these other things that go with the woke. And I'm like, no. Because what happened to, the Bush beer? When they put the is it transvestite or whatever on there? who is your customer? Who is your customer base? Are you nuts? See, you can't have your political views at work, but you damn well can at home. And your buying power can tell the companies that you deal with, I'm not dealing with you. You know, if you want to alienate all of us on this side of the table, then you don't need my money. And the problem I see is that, first of all, I don't understand this corporate mentality of thinking this is a good idea because it's already been tried a couple times and failed. Failed miserably. So why do they do it? Why do they do it? Because they don't want to alienate a segment of the population. And I can tell you right now, probably because Tractor Supply is more of a rural agricultural company that sells tractor implements, feed for horses and cows, and more ag, rural America. And I'm not saying, because I have plenty of friends that are gay, lesbian, that live in those areas, but they're not flaunting it in your face, and they're not demanding corporate America to do anything. If anything, live and let live. That's the rural way. I don't care if you identify as a rooster, as long as you're not pretending to be a rooster in front of me all the time. But when it comes to smaller shops, retail, I mean, what are you thinking when you start putting Biden sucks signs on the front of your store? You're alienating half your customer base. And only a foolish business person would do that. And that's why at the shop, we don't talk politics, not even internally. Because, I mean, Claude and I get along pretty much and agree on most stuff together anyways. But if you have half a dozen employees, good chances are you have one that probably is on the other side is being quiet because they don't want to be alienated for their views, right? But if it's not ever approached, then they don't need to be on the defensive, right? Same thing with your customer base. If you're not flaunting it and you're not pushing it at your establishment, you'll get both sides of the coin to come in and because now they're dealing with you because of you, right? Not because of your views. It's because of how you treat them. And how you treat them in the end is going to decide whether they continue to be your customer or they walk away. You know, we've talked about this as well when it comes to, you know, gabbing in the shop, because I don't allow my employees to talk politics or gossip. Gossip's just as bad as politics. To customers. No, don't let me catch you at it. You know, because if you have somebody there giving you gossip, good chances are anything you say will be added to that person's storyline when they go to the next place, and now they're using you in their story. No. Don't even get within a 10-foot pole. You know, keep it away from you. So these things, you have to think about all this stuff because it's taking place, you know. And I'm all about you having your own views. And, you know, if you don't know something, find out. But if you're an employer, shop owner, you can't have that going on. And you really need to stress to employees about discrimination, you know, and what's okay and what's not okay. I mean, I used to work, when I worked in the mill, we had 3 females that worked along with us. Loved them all. Really great co-workers. And one was from the South. Her name was Gail. And she always, "How you doing, darling?" Now that darling could be construed to be sexual, right? But not in the South. That's just their way of introducing or asking how you doing. And somebody calling me honey does not put me on the defensive. These are things you need to think about and to worry about, whether you're an employee or employer. Give it some thought. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. The main theme of today is you have to be acutely aware of your surroundings, right? And you have to know the different ways that co-workers can discriminate each other. And as a business owner, I have to post discrimination policy that they send, New York State. Be careful how you talk to your coworkers. Some things are acceptable, some things aren't. The bigger the shop, the more issues you're probably going to have, and the more reason you have to stay with those rules, right? And when it comes to your views, I'm all about you having your own view. You have every right. That's your right. And if you're a shop owner or a retail establishment owner, you have every right to post things on the front of your building or inside your building. But if it's going to alienate half of your customer base, why would you want to do that? Why? I guess if you have so much work and you don't need extra work, that's one thing. But I couldn't afford to alienate half of my customer base. And you really need to think about, when you're watching corporate America get behind some stuff that you're not for. They should never have entered into this realm. Business and politics do not mix. They don't. Never have. You have backroom deals going on in the cover of darkness. And the reason they're doing it that way is it would never pass the sniff test during the light of day. That's why they do it. But what part of these corporate giants think that it's okay to now stand behind different groups that is going to alienate probably 3/4, if not more, of your customers? That beer took an awful shellacking. And if this customer was right, so isn't Tractor Supply. So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday. Sun's coming up here in upstate New York, and almost time for the grind again. You have a great day.